Fancy recording, and let us get started. All right, so last time you guys had successfully defeated the rebel base and found out we're not a rebel base. Those guys just left and decided to start attacking people. We wanted to just be alone so we could leave this island. Um, but their one of their leaders may or may not have been affected with something that you don't know what it is. Uh, and they said that he went out, came back, and had this thing happening to him. They're like, "We're just gonna leave. Okay, thanks." And you're like, "Okay, if you want to do that," and you didn't decided not to stop them. Um, on the way out of the camp, Philmon told you, "Hey, they got a bunch of digi eggs hiding in a corner of their thing, and you didn't do anything about that, so okay." And on the way back, Centarumon has been checking on Sistermon's seal because might have been affected by something, but you couldn't figure out what it was. And then you're like, "Hey, let's
Yeah,
ask Wizard."
I know for a fact she's been affected. I just don't know what or how.
Wizardmon looked into her future, and all he said he could see was, "Oh, I just saw lightning." Um, and then a visitor from up on the mountain came to talk to the two of them, uh, Seal Noir, and she left out in a hurry. And then the next morning, you guys are all being called up to the top of. I can't remember what the name of it is now, and I just was looking at it 2 seconds ago. God, oh my brain. To the top of
Mount
Iridia,
Steve.
up to the top of Iridia Mountain, because Jupitermon would like to talk to all of you who were on that mission.
Yeah, no, because this is gonna be super fun.
So I'm just gonna bring you here, and I'm gonna just drag you out. And I did not drag you. Why did I not only drag you? Oh, are they on a diff? I bet you they're on a diff. Oh, it's because I'm trying to drag on you got them. I have access to your character sheets, but the other tokens definitely don't have a character sheet, so I can't select them on the player one. So you are all brought up here uh, and I have tokens for them now. 1 second. Oh, oh, that's right. I put them into their own folder. Uh, Give me a second while I look at. Thank God I have everything color coded. By where are you? Are you? There's no way you're not further up. Did the two I seriously want to put in here because I wanted to have their tokens? I did not put them in here. No, I didn't. Okay. By Myotismon here. And I did say that a Angel Woman came to get you, but I'm going to uh, retcon that because I found a slightly different Angemon subtype.
Is maybe like a pedomon or something.
Nope,
Oh,
it just drag you up there. It
Hmm.
goes by the name of Arc. Oh my god, I'm not gonna pronounce this correctly. Arc High Angemon. High is spelled Hai.
Archaeangemon.
Yeah,
Interesting. That's not one that looks familiar to me.
it is not. It definitely is not. I was just looking on a Wikimon, I believe it was, and I saw that. So I was looking for other tokens for a thing that you're about to come up. So you guys are brought up here. These two will move out of the way, and all of you will proceed upwards towards the top of Iridia Mountain. Um, the journey itself takes about Up the mountain is about uh, uh, 10 minutes at walking speed.
It's a very big mountain.
It is a very, very large mountain. And you come to the top of the mountain, and there is in what you can assume to be the center of the mountain. Uh, you will be dragged all the way up here, and up at the top of this mountain range, you will see a rather large castle made out of marble, various different types of marble.
Are there any of the ones that have the cool swirly stripe through the middle?
Sure. I did say
Those are always
various types of marble, so the answer probably is going to be yes.
I was making a joke about like marbles, like the kids
Uh
game
huh.
slash toy.
I mean, marble stone itself, when it's has those things as well, so the answer still
Yeah,
would be
it has
yes.
like variegations, but I mean, I'll throw a picture in chat of what I was thinking.
You then will head through another gate at the start of this castle, leading up over a bridge. Once again, blocked by or guarded by various demon, devil, and angel type Digimon, uh, and like various other like knight Digimon. Uh, as in, I know because I know someone's gonna make the joke like knights Knight, not it is night. I'm looking at you, Law. I know you were thinking it. Don't lie.
Oh, it wasn't.
Don't lie. Anyways, uh,
No, I was just envisioning a palace that's made out of a bunch of these, just like stacked on top of each other.
uh,
My mind was too preoccupied.
all
Oh,
right.
balls.
Uh, and you are brought into a great hall, which this castle, it is it is huge. It is massive. Probably to you know, not appropriate. Frick, what's the word I'm looking for? Accommodate for uh the two Olympus members living here. Um, when you first became, this is the first time you've been up into the castle since you became brigade members. When you first were finally
But
accepted,
yeah, no, I'm assuming this is not a good thing.
the first time you came up here is when you were first uh, inducted into the brigade. I think I'm using that word correctly.
Inducted is the word you want.
And you were given a in quotes blessing by Jupitermon, because it's just a ritual that every brigade member has to go through when they finally become a brigade member. But yeah, not many people come up here otherwise, so feel free to interpret what's gonna happen. Um, you were brought up a massive set of stairs uh, into the throne room, and you are and I will do this, and they will zoom out a little bit. So, in this room, you see various different types of white marble, and I didn't bother putting very large chairs up on the top there because you'll see why in a second. Uh,
I didn't bother putting large chairs
you'll
in.
see why in a sec.
It's just a great out of context sentence.
Yeah, you'll see why in a second. There are very large like throne like chairs at the top of this platform. Um, On the left side, there are various uh, dark type Digimon. So like Musamon, there's Devimon, other Digimon like that. On the right, there's more holier Digimon like Angemons. There's a Pidmon there, which is what you were referring to before.
Yeah,
Um,
Pitomon, the Angelmon that has a key because just doing Kingdom Hearts cosplay.
mm,
Kingdom
uh,
Hearts one.
up on the stairs itself, there is a knight chessmon, one white, one black, and in front of the white chessmon the on front. Oh my god, my mouth cannot speak that fast. Oh. In front of the Knight Chessmon White is the Digimon you spotted before Tyrannomon and Blipmon that came in, talked to the Sistermons, and then immediately left in a hurry.
Yeah, that's their sister one.
And I have to fix this because I literally just did this, and now I have to fix it again because I made that retcon and then I forgot to do it just now because I found it after I had made this room. Boop and boop. Okay. Uh, these two will uh, do a salute and then go off to the sides here. Um, and you basically wait for a second, but they are all watching you. And then, if you do not do or say anything, there is a loud sound of uh, thunder and these two will both appear and sit into the he will appear specifically and sit down in the throne that is there, which that is why I didn't bother putting a throne there, because he would have just covered the whole thing anyways and you wouldn't be able to see it.
That's fine.
um I would like all of you to roll me a perception check.
Okay.
Ouchie.
9,
I
10,
get 10.
and 11,
15.
huh? Cool.
15 for me.
Oh, 15, right. You're not plus 2, I forgot.
Yeah, I am smart.
I think it would be... Let me just look at... I'm not signed in, so I won't be able to do that anyways. I'm going to just do this. Well, actually, if you're 3, 4... Actually, no, for what they are, this would make the most sense anyways. Okay. Yeah.
None of you see him. He's too stealthy as he makes his appearance.
I'll take out the last one. Even if I take out the last one. All of you kind of blink. And then in the other throne, as you've blinked, she will appear.
Oh.
I don't think it is possible for any of these other guys to notice what might have just happened. But let me just see what the thing would be. Okay. Is that even possible? I think
Maybe she used teleportation, which is the thing that I was looking at before this, going, wow, that's super cool.
No, that's not what I'm... I mean, it's possible. Let's see, how many is there? 1, 2... also, I guess you also would have... And you would only have +2. No, even if they rolled the maximum... If they rolled 6s on 3d6s, none of the others would notice. I think the only one who technically could have noticed would have been you, Law, if you rolled max.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, I'll just make sure my recording is not messing up because I'd had problems before, and I don't want to bite me in the butt. She sits down back in the throne, and Jupitermon will look down the stairs at this the you mean you wouldn't technically know, but to her, uh, and she will step forward. I realized I did that on the GM layer, but that's fine. She will step forward and will just basically address all of you and ask, which of you was the leader into your little mission north of here?
That would be our group.
She takes a step, looks at the three of you, is like, looks back to Jubramon, looks back to you.
I mean, to be fair, we wouldn't have been very successful without them. They brought substantially greater numbers than we were able to muster. We're not the most charismatic, unfortunately.
She will look to you, Centaurmon, and says, "Okay, I asked that at this point forward, then you only answer when anyone has asked you a question.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to ask you, actually, add a question. Did any of you tell uh, the other Digimon about the Scorpiomon incident that you guys saw about that weird data stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we reported that at the bar after we got back from the mission.
Yeah.
And we also discussed it with the folks in this group because we had seen, like, when the Arcadiamon came out and was corrupted, we were like, hey, we've seen that stuff before.
Okay. I'm just
So
remembering
we've made sure that other people know about it because it's potentially dangerous. Like, we were trying to make sure.
That was just for me remember because I couldn't remember if you said that or not. But
Yes.
she will ask, look to the three of you, points to you, Centaurmon, because she said you are the medic of this group, correct?
Yes.
You've had, if I'm remembering correctly, were once a doctor in a Stali city, correct?
Yes.
And you've never seen this, the affliction that my sisters had told me about when I came down to look at them.
Correct.
How many
I had
times have
no
you
data on anything similar to this.
how many times have you seen it now?
Twice.
Have you, this is gonna sound weird, but have you ever felt something like that before? I would like you to roll me either a I'm trying to think of what feeling would be in this either a computer or a perception check, depending on what you do. It'll be a different.
So it's a 15 computer.
Now that you're thinking about it, when you were examining both Arcadiamon as well as Sistermon Seal, something in the back of your mind remembers that during the fight you felt something a little bit familiar to it as well, but you're not exactly sure.
I mean, I would mention that, but, you know, it's vague feelings from the past are hard for me to give any sort of, you know, conclusive answers based off of.
she will think and will ask, um, how would she phrase this? I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase this because I'm trying to be very careful with my words as a GM, so I don't give too much away just yet.
Coward.
How would she word this? Because I don't want her to just tell you straight up. You've not seen or heard about this type of, let's just call it oddity, anywhere in your medical history?
That I recall, no. Nothing of this nature. I mean, I ran very thorough scans of Sistermon, and I like using anything that I could compare it to, and I wasn't able to find anything definitive. Just there there have been changes, but I can't figure out what or why. Just that something has happened, so it matches nothing I have any experience with.
Um, it's not hard to notice because they're kind of hard, big Digimon, and they can't really hide it. But Junomon kind of like leans over into Jupitermon and will be whispering something to him. And when she stops, Jupitermon will speak up. It's like, Blanc, that is enough. She turns around, bows to him, and goes back over to where she was before. Jupitermon will then rise from his throne, and all the other Digimon around you, except for Sistermon Blank and the two Knight Chessmon, will basically take a knee. Do you
Yeah,
do it?
I'll do my best. I'm a horse. That's kind of hard.
I don't have legs. I fly. I fly lower to the floor, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for us to bow.
That's why I said specifically that the Knight Chessmon don't really do it. Because they're also on four
you
legs.
Yeah,
can tell-
like, incline the head a little bit, as it were. But yeah, that's about what we got.
Roman can do like a horse curtsy or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Do you all attempt to do your best, attempt to take a knee in quotes as you
Yeah.
can when he stands up?
Yeah, I mean, that's the correct thing to do in this case if we don't want to get fucking lightning bolted to death by an angry Zeus.
The Sistermon will, the Ice Devimon and Sangalutmon and Repamon will. Nanimon's just looking around, and then Ice Devimon like
Finger up his nose.
goes over to him and like pushes into one of his knee, into the back of his knee, and gets him down on one foot, one knee, and just like stay there, be quiet.
Yeah, that's correct.
And he's going to slowly come up to all of you to here. In fact, I'm gonna make it so that like he's like in the center of all of you. Looks over all of you. I would like all the three of you to make me a bravery check, please.
What is my bravery?
12,
11.
My good ones. 11.
11.
Oh my gosh.
It might be one of my good stats, but it's not good dice.
Jupitermon looks to the three of you. He looks to behind you at the other four, looks to both Sistermon and will turn back to Junimon, shake his head, and then he will speak out. Everyone, except for our guests and Blanc, please leave. And then all the Digimon are kind of like look up at him, look around at the others, like that is an order. Now leave. And all of them get up, bow to him.
When he says guests, he means like us and the others who were summoned, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, just making
Even
sure.
the Nightmon will also just end up leaving.
Hell yeah, we're about to have a party. It's totally isn't going to happen.
What I'm about to tell you does not leave this room until the rest of our island knows about it. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yes, I've been to DigiVegas. I understand the rules, sir. That was not a real in-game thing because we don't have
I was going to
DigiVegas.
ask.
We don't have DigiVegas, I'm assuming, but
I mean,
yes, I feel I should make it
technically
sure that was out of game.
In all technicality, the city where the arena is probably is basically DigiVegas.
Sure, but it's not called DigiVegas.
Yes.
I hoped my usage of that term would make it clear, but yes, that was not in game. This is not the time for that kind of thing.
How much do you know of our island's history?
I give him the YouTube link for the first session where you did the big narration of it.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, fair enough.
That's the best. That's the best explanation I have. Like, I mean, we've learned a little bit more than that over the course of the game, but that's most of it.
Nanimon probably would not say anything. The others would basically just agree with you. Kaz and Blipmon and Tyrannomon, would you like to say anything else specifically? Actually, the three of you give me knowledge checks to see if you know anything extra than what I have.
I'm just reading the backstory, sorry.
Yeah, give me knowledge checks to see if you know anything extra.
No.
16.
10.
The only thing that you know extra there, Satarumon, would be that this island originally wasn't isn't originally the Olympus 12's home.
Yeah, I do remember that being mentioned at one point.
In that they came from outside of the island to here.
Yeah, originally they were from somewhere else.
What else could I? But yeah, you don't know much else other than that.
What this is making, like the fact that comes to mind is making me think that whatever this is what drove them out of wherever they used to live. But we shall see what he has to say.
Before we of the Olympus came to this island, we were another what would be the word that he would use? Not sect, because that sounds like a cult, and that's not what I want.
One of us.
I'm gonna go with group because that's the only thing I can think of. Another group alongside the Royal Knights. Now I would like you all to make another knowledge check to see if you even know who the Royal Knights are.
Okay.
19.
Mm-hmm.
Just once,
Well,
can I get a higher roll?
yeah, that's
And
a
not
little
allowed.
that's a few short there, Shadow and Cat. As
12.
so, La, you have read a lot of books, being a doctor, and have a lot of knowledge. So you know that the Royal Knights are all mega level Digimon that are extremely powerful. If the same, if not more powerful than the Olympus 12 themselves. And that being
Yeah.
said, the only one I can think of that would be more powerful than them would be Omnimon.
Alphamon potentially.
Yeah, I
Also,
guess.
it depending on which lore you use, technically Examon is like
Oh, yeah, fucking
so
X.
powerful it
Fuck.
can't be quantified,
Um,
depending on which continuity you use.
I'm not use. I'm not. Yeah, probably not. I forget that Examon is a part of the Royal Knights.
Yeah, right. Kind of throws a wrench in things.
Uh, I would probably say he's not. I would say he's probably on par with Omnimon. But that's just me. Because
Yeah, I think
technically,
that's. I would
bigger doesn't
agree.
always mean better in this case. And
No, it,
I.
it, it, it doesn't. But Examon is typically like I think that's about right because Examon is typically conveyed on the level of an Ultra, and that's what Omnimon is.
Mhm.
So that
Yeah,
that feels correct to me.
Kaz for reference, Exmon is basically a large dragon, similar to your colors, actually. He kind of does look like a very gigantic Tyrannomon. Uh, I would say if I had to put in a size, he would be about the size of this staircase. That's how big his token would be from square
Okay.
to square. That's how big his token would be if I had to give him a size.
Yeah, that
Which
seems about
which
correct.
still bigger than what than Valve on than a certain someone wants to go into.
What? No.
But we were uh, a group set in a similar power range of those of uh, the knights who serve under uh, Yggdrasil. Uh, I will say you've heard of Yggdrasil, their Centaurumon, but you know absolutely nothing about him. His name gets thrown around by the Royal Knights a lot, but no one's ever seen him except maybe for the Royal Knights. Um, and a long time ago, before even the humans came here to the digital world to help us stop the dark threat of the calamity, there was actually another threat that happened before then that threw the world for a loop. Um, it was a threat that. Now, I want to make sure I have this name of this correctly. I want to make sure I'm reading the right one and not the one I think it is. I think. Is it called something else? Because I was thinking of a. Is it? Da, 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 da. Oh, yes. Is this called something else? I can't remember if it's considered technically the same thing. Yes, it's considered the same thing. Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna be calling it the English name that I know what it is. I don't think these are two separate ones. I'm pretty sure they're the same thing, but people who know Digimon maybe a little bit more than I do can correct me. The Japanese name for it is Death X. I don't know if the English name for it is Program X, which would make more
No,
sense for.
it's Death Exmon still in English.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know what the difference between the two things are, the X program and the Death X, if they are different.
It's X antibody, and then like Death Xmon is sort of the
Right.
like
No,
when it
the
all goes fucking to
so
its extreme.
that's right. Okay. This has been a while since I've done this, how I've done this, but how what he's going to describe to you is that Death X had been going over the entire digital world, and according to the Royal Knights, Yggdrasil released the X program, which destroys the Death X virus, basically. If you don't have the an X antibody, you die from it.
Oh, yay.
Oh.
Yep.
So a
How that
long time
works.
ago, so that happened quite a long time ago, and Digimon have kind of uh, gone back to their original uh, programming uh, without the X antibody and without the need of the X program to defeat Death X. Um, However, uh, we of the Olympus 12 were given a job. He kind of says, just grimacing about it, like they may have been treated like they're not, basically just not nothing because they are powerful, but just like they're an afterthought. Um, to scour the digital world to make sure that no more Death X was in the digital world at all. They did
Yep.
that for many, many years until eventually they came to this island where Death X was slowly but surely going to resurface. Now, they thought, those of the Olympus thought of going back to Yggdrasil to tell them that they found this, but they found that it was a very small strain of it. Like, it wasn't even lethal to, like, even basic rookie or even baby Digimon. However, they knew that if they left it for too long, it could get worse and uh, basically destroy the digital world again. Um, but before they could make a decision on what to do with this island that had Death X in it, one of the Olympus 12, the 12th member that no one seems to really know anything about what happened to them, Bacchusmon, absorbed all of the Death X on the island. And told the other members to seal him away somewhere where he couldn't hurt anyone, uh, so that he could destroy the Death X virus within his body, and that the Digimon of this island wouldn't be destroyed by the X program. Those things that you've seen, this Arcadiamon and those Scorpiomon, are strains of the Death X that have somehow escaped Bacchusmon's seal and have affected some of the Digimon on the island. He will stop there to see if you guys have any questions, and Law, just in case you're muted. Not anymore.
Wait, I mean, out of game, we were told not to speak unless we were asked a question. So
He makes a pause to make it sound like if you have any questions, you can ask him.
but he didn't ask us a question, and nobility tends to be very picky about having their their rules followed.
Okay,
So
fair.
I personally am like, unless he says something, I don't want to be smote by lightning. He's a mega level. He can probably do that in one hit. Like, I'm not fucking around. I would love to ask like a couple questions, but
He will look to all of you, realize that you guys are not saying anything because of what Blanc said, and will reply with like, if you have anything else, if you have anything to ask before I continue on, please continue. You are all brigade members. While I am technically one of the higher ups in the Olympus 12, he says that kind of jokingly, because really I wouldn't know who would be the strongest out of all of them or not. Feel free to ask any question you wish.
so what does this virus showing up mean? Like, does it mean that some was missed when Bacchusmon was sealed away? Does it mean that like Bacchusmon has died and it's escaping? Is this potentially like a new one that's coming in afterward? Like, what's the like?
There
It
have
seems very bad for it to be showing up again after the measures that were taken to make sure that wouldn't happen. But I'm still, I guess, not clear on the implications or the scale yet of the
for
problem.
for starters, why they are these things of Death X are suddenly appearing, we're not sure. We do not want to release Bacchusmon in the fact that he might be extremely affected by it, and by all intents and purposes, Jumon looks back to her, has been checking the seal that we've been putting on him every so often, and the seal has been kept intact. So either the Death X has been seeping out through the seal that we have on him, and somehow making it to the island, or there's something somewhere on this island that is still causing it to happen. However, we've had a long time, us Olympus members, to think about what we want to do. So, each of us Olympus 12 members have gained something after the so-called all of the Death X was destroyed, called an X antibody, which protects us from both the program that destroys those who have the Death X virus, and the program itself. We have taken the antibody and over the years have been spreading it over the island so that the Death X virus would not kill those who have it immediately if they were affected by it, which is how I assume this Arcadiamon is not dead already.
Yeah, so also about that, I do definitely have some concerns. Do you think there is any chance that that group would be able to get out safely if Arcadiamon goes with them? Because it's likely they have not left yet, and knowing what this is,
We
Like,
have sent someone
is
to
it
already
even
check
safe to
it.
let Arcadiamon go off the island?
We have sent someone to already go check it. You do not need to worry about that.
Okay.
However, if we cannot stop the Death X permeating through his body, he will have to be destroyed before he infects anyone else.
As long as you allow the rest of them to leave, that I have no complaints. I mean, not that I'm really in any sort of position to, make demands or what have you, but they those ones at least there earnestly didn't seem to mean any harm. They just wished to be away from it themselves.
And that is their right to do so. As well it is for every Digimon on the island to defend themselves, whether they decide to do things a certain way or not. However, there is one thing I would like to mention to all of you. While it is true that we've been spreading the X antibody all over the island, that is only partially true. The X antibody itself that we have, that we've been spreading, is something that who would be leading creating this? That's a good question.
It would be Mercurymon, probably, because Mercury is equivalent to Hermes, and Hermes was the god of medicine.
I would say
Although in Digimon terms, Mercurymon is like a big wolf man, and I don't know if he
yes.
has anything medical related. So
I am going to say that she will say that Sarismon and Venusmon have been working over the years to find a way to make a new version of this X antibody. This new version of X antibody can be easily put into any Digimon at any time during their life, whether they are an egg, whether they are a mega like myself, it doesn't matter. And it basically acts as a vaccine of sorts. Kind of how like the humans administer vaccines in their world. And Sataramon, you're the only one who would understand what he was talking about when he mentions that. He will go to say, however, that is only really true to a point. Each of those in the Olympus have the ability to take their old X antibody and give it to another, a copy of it, if you wish. Those in the guards of the city and those in the brigade have a copy of this X antibody in them when they first join and meet with one of the Olympus 12 members. Normally, this would cause a change in one's body, but over time, it's the X antibody itself changes and adapts to the situation that is needed. Some have very different evolutions when affected by the X antibody, while some aren't even affected by it. For example, we have found over the years that certain Digimon aren't affected by the X program, the X antibody, or even Death X itself. And he's going to look over all of
Is
you.
there any commonality to the Digimon that are totally unaffected?
He looks over the lot of you and points to Ice Devimon. You, unless I believe. Hold on, let me just check one thing to make sure. 'Cause I don't think he has one, but I'm gonna just check to make sure. Yes. He points to Ice Devimon and says, "You, Ice Devimon, are unaffected by any of the Death uh, X antibody or the program itself." And I need to check one last thing.
It's not something as simple as him being a virus type, is it?
And he then points to you, Blimpmon, and says, "You are also immune to these effects. We found that those of God or angel or devil, demon, or Digimon that are completely machine are unaffected by a
Okay.
Death X."
Ah.
Which I don't know.
I was about to ask where in the whole devil, demon, angel thing does a blimp come in, but that makes sense.
Now I'm making
No
add a
organic
character,
parts to get infected, as it were.
add a character. I am making that up because I technically don't think that's lore accurate. So I think any Digimon can still technically be affected by Death X and stuff. I'm just doing that for reasons.
Sure. I mean, it does make logical sense. Like, if there's no, like, quote unquote tissue to be infected, then, like.
Uh, so he says, "So especially you two," points to actually you three, points to Tyrannomon, Satarumon, and Sistermon Seal. "You will have to probably find a new path forward, much like rest of this island will have in the coming month."
Oh, I'm not sure how much Duck can hear right now based on a message he just sent that says "help me" and shows a 5,000 MS ping.
I can
Ah,
hear you right now, but the problem is, I'm trying to keep up as best as I can, but everyone's voice keeps going like between robotic to barely showing up.
weird.
I know. Like I say, I've never had this problem before, and it
I
just
swear this
keeps
never
like popping up.
happens. This is the first time.
It literally is though.
Um, well, do the best you can. I'll just say. But he will continue to say, "In the coming months, we will be changing how the island works in possible preparation of stopping the Death X virus from spreading anywhere to the island. Over time, especially recently, we've been trying to spread it to those of the wilds on the island, if they even allow us to, but most of them we can handle. As I said before, for right now, do not speak of what I have told you here today until we are ready to activate the X antibody in full. But for you all, you have a choice to make. I have told you which Digimon have the ability to resist the effects of the Death X. But make no mistake, it's not completely foolproof. Death X in its larger strain in a larger strain could possibly ignore those who are resistant to it right now. It's why we of the Olympus 12, or rather, only the two of us of the Olympus 12 know where Bacchusmon is sealed. If he was released, all the Death X that he's been holding into his body could cause a catastrophe on the island. It's been sitting inside of him for a long time. And we've been trying to find a better way to counteract that without destroying our friend. So, with that being said, I would like all of you to make me a decision right here, right now. This is out of character. There is something I want you to consider. If you decide to become an X Digimon, you will get a free quality. And I will tell you what that is right now. If I can find it. I gotta remember where I put it in. Yes, I believe it's this. It is referred to as the X antibody. So, this quality makes you more resistant to large amounts of the... That should be the X death, because I thought it was the X program. X death. If I can spell it correctly. Makes you more resistant to the...
I was on mute. Sorry. I was gonna say it might be X program. I just know like the ultimate, like most evolved version is Death. Yeah, is Death Xmon. So like that's what I'm going off of.
Whatever. I'll look at cards. I know there's cards of it.
The X program was created by the host couple of Brazilian 2003 after the
But if you evolve into a Digimon that has the X antibody, because there are some Digimon that are not, the Digimon's named X, like Alphamon is technically an X antibody Digimon. Same with like Dorumon and stuff like that. But anyways, this quality makes you more resistant to large amounts of X death more than others. Oh my god, I worded this. When did I type this? You are more resistant to large amounts of Dex X than others are naturally. Any attack against you by Digimon that is affected by X death gives you an additional 2 dodge against those Digimon, as well as you do additional 2 damage to them. This means that those are affected by the program take a minimum of 2 wound boxes from you. However, if you are a Digimon that naturally resists this program, you may take the above quality, but must get permission from the Olympus 12. This is because it must be applied to either an attack with a weapon tag with any type Digizoid or armor. So choose carefully. So if you attach the X antibody to a weapon, you do 2 extra damage, or if you attach it to a Digizoid armor, you take 2 less damage. You can only take it once. So, before we go any further, let's go down the list here. Kaz, are you going to be Tyrannomon be an X antibody Digimon? You're going to become an X Digimon. Because you said you wanted to be a Triceramon, correct?
Yeah.
There is an X antibody version of both Tyrannomon and Triceramon.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to become an X antibody.
okay, worry about that later. I just want to know for me later. Uh, Law. This is something I've asked you about, kind of. But what were you wanting to become when you evolved?
Um, I guess it kind of depends because like I wasn't 100% set on
Mm-hmm.
anything in particular. Like I kind of like I'm happy to continue being a cleric when I evolve, but also the idea of like if we were gonna do the thing where you can go between champion and ultimate, then having an ultimate form that does good damage and having my champion form be a cleric, I kind of liked the idea of.
Okay. There is something I want to do after you guys leave this. So after you leave the temple, because you're not quite high enough level or not enough DP to evolve. You need 3 more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because you're at no, you need 4 more. Sorry, because you need 15.
Oh, okay.
Um, then in that case, Shadow Blitmon already is resistant to Death X because you are a pure machine type.
yeah.
So, um, with the way that your attacks work, you don't really have a weapon to be able to use it. The only way I would say I would allow it is if that you
I mean, he
took the.
has ammunition. Like you could say it's
Yes,
like the bullets that he fires.
the only thing I would allow it is that if he took the ammo tag, and I would allow him to apply it to that.
I see.
But that would mean that you would have to only have a certain number of uses of that
Yeah, it's
attack.
6 shots of that attack per encounter, which I mean, honestly, 6 doesn't seem like that big of a limitation.
No, no, it doesn't.
Like with how long most of the fights go,
Um,
like I feel like that means sometimes you would run out, but not like consistently.
with that being said, and all that's out of character stuff, uh, Jupitermon will look to all of you and look to Sistermon's seal and take out one of his hands and gestures her forward. Uh, and she will kind of just step forward to here and just kind of look, stand up, look up at, and just look up at him. And we'll be like, according to Blanc, you were attacked by Arcadiamon and the Death X that he released through the tentacles on his fingers. But you seem to have resisted it. And so he's going to take one of his fingers, because his fingers are gigantic, and place it into her stomach. It's like, you, Sistermon, are special in another way. You cannot specifically be affected but with the X antibody. However, there is another power inside of you that can be awakened. And lightning courses through Jupitermon into Sistermon. And for all
Thank
intents
goodness it wasn't because she was gonna die. I will
and
actually probably say that under my breath in game.
and for all intents and purposes, she technically digivolves. I'm gonna make it a little bigger so that you can see it.
Yeah,
And
she gets awakened
and
form.
her body and sword become electrified.
Cool.
I
Let's
can
just put the
assume,
funny hat on.
and he takes his finger off of Seal and say, technically, your sisters could also take this effect. As she's kind of like looking at her body, like trying to control the electricity.
Boobs just get bigger? What the hell? Why'd the designers make that choice?
Trying to looks at her body, just trying to control the electricity flowing through her body. He'll say, technically, your sisters can also make this evolution. However, they haven't gone under enough of a threat to change like you have. One of which stays out in ranged and isn't really in danger most of the time, looking to our. And the other sits around here all day, not doing anything except announcing me, looking back to Blanc. And she kind of like, and then Blanc kind of like gets like kind of like embarrassed a little bit.
Get called out.
So, Sister Monsieur, I would like you to train your sisters for a coming battle and make them awakened like you are. Blanc, until you have awakened, you are no longer allowed into the castle.
Get kicked out, nerd.
She just kind of got like open jaw, like looking up at him. Was like, what? As for the rest of you, I will ask that you keep what's happened, what I have told you, a secret until the antibody takes a better hold into the Digimon on the island. I would say.
So I guess am I getting it or not?
You already have it technically. You have a copy of it in your body. You have a copy of the original
I just wanted
antibody.
to make sure if I needed to get it or not.
The only
that was
thing
all
is,
I was worried about.
the only one who can't be affected by it is Devimon and Blimpmon.
Okay.
However, if you were to say like go full machine, you would not be affected by it anymore, and you would be resistant to it.
Sure. I guess am I taking? Do I need to take the feat or not? I guess is my question.
Right now, you technically do not have it because the X antibody hasn't taken a hold in your bodies yet.
Okay, so that's an in the future thing.
That's an
we just
in
need
the
to
future
make the
thing.
choice now. Okay.
Yeah. It's just for a thing for if you decide you want to do it or not.
Yep.
He will turn back to the three of you and look to you, all of you, and be like, we hope that the X antibody will have taken more in effect in about 2 weeks from now. So you have a 2-week limit, time limit to decide what you want to do. And if you so wish, I will permit you to go to any of the Olympus 12 members to completely change who you are as a Digimon, if you so wish.
Wow.
And by that, he means you can go to any of the Olympus 12 members, but you can only do this once because the process is not great. And if you do not wish to be what you are as a Digimon anymore, you can be changed. So that means, like, for example, if you wanted to go to, let's say you wanted to go to Minervamon, you could change into a Jungle Mojamon or a Panyamon.
Right.
depending obviously if you're when you're champion or ultimate. So you can only do that once.
Okay, that's a good backup option to have.
Just so everyone knows those options. If you go to the Icelands with Dianamon, that would be Frigimon and Mammothmon. If you somehow figure out where the city in the taiga is, where Marakurimon is, that would be Bergermon, Sabergermon, and Garudamon.
Okay.
If you go to Venusmon, that would be Garurumon and Mahiro. Oh my god, I can't even pronounce it. Mahiramon. That's the one of the Devas from season 3. I'm pretty sure it's like the first one that they come in contact with. It's like the tiger with wings or whatever.
Oh yeah, I know which one that is.
Volcanusmon, you could, if you go to this city where you are from, Santarumon, you could be turned into Gardramon, Mechanorimon, and Gigadramon or Megadramon. Jupitermon and Junimon don't technically have anyone you could change into. If you wanted to change into an angel or devil, I would allow it. If you go to the desert, you can turn into obviously Togemon or Lilymon. If you go back to the plateau, you can either turn into a Dinohumon or a Volcadramon.
Dinohumon is a fun one. That was one that I considered at one point.
If you go to the volcanoes where a certain Tyrannomon is, you also could become a Tyrannomon a second time. And Triceramon or Metal Tyrannomon.
All right.
And finally, if you can somehow find him in the ocean, Neptunemon could turn you into Seedramon, Manta-Raymon, Mega Seedramon, or the one that is Scorpiomon, but I'm not going to pronounce his Japanese name because, my god, my brain's already not working today.
I was actually considering being a Manta-Raymon just because I love those things.
Yeah, as soon as he said Manta-Raymon, I was like, oh, huh, he might be making a change.
Maybe.
Now that those are just options. You don't have to do those, because remember, you are resistant to it already being a full machine. Centaurmon, you're technically a cyborg, so you're not all machine.
Yep.
But yes, so he's going to return back to the throne and sit back down in it. He will say if you have any final questions for him before you will leave, you are free to. Just remember to not spread this information to anyone. Not specifically looking at you three, but looking to the possible Digimon, two Digimon, and one of the ones that had to be forced to one knee in the background there. But do you have any questions before we continue on? There is one last thing I want to do before we're going to end here, because then it'll be a decision what you decide to do afterwards.
I'm content.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm good.
No, don't want to know any lore or anything? Okay, I see how it is.
Well, I mean, if there's more lore that we should know, then yeah, I would be happy to.
But
not
I mean, really. I'm just don't know if
we got a pretty good explanation overall. Like, I was satisfied. Like, not asking questions means that, you know, our question, like the things we would have asked, were already answered.
I thought you would have been curious about. Oh, hey, there's other places other than this island that you didn't know about.
Well, I mean, we already knew to an extent that there were other places. Like, we just haven't been to them and don't really have a reason to be.
don't think
And
that was.
like
I don't think that.
based on his explanation, it kind of sounded to me like, the out there might be kind of hostile and or dangerous. So
The way that he described it was that the 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 Death X is no longer exists outside of the island, so it's already been cured off the island.
right. But he also mentioned, like mega level Digimon running around and killing folks and stuff. So it's like, if we happen to accidentally be infected and
Technically,
then run into someone that blows us up, like I wouldn't want that to
you know
happen.
what's weird? I'm basing this. I'm kind of basing the whole antibody stuff off of the movie. If you know which one I'm referring to, like that weird 3D movie that they made.
I haven't
Like,
watched it, but
I
I
can't.
think I
I
know
where
vaguely what you're
where
talking about, just because I know, like, from having done enough wiki diving, like, to know the X antibody, like, storyline stuff, largely.
All right, as you guys are leaving, Noir will kind of come up to Blank and just kind of pat her on the back, and then just take her along with you. And Seal hasn't moved; she's just constantly looking at her body, trying to hold the electricity flowing through her body, trying not to release it. By the way,
I'm sure
live.
she'll be fine.
By the way, Satarmon, if it wasn't obvious before, it is now that that's obviously what you were noticing that was in her body before.
Yeah, no, that I gathered. Like,
And
it's like, okay, that's why she didn't get infected. Like,
and then
cool.
she,
I'm glad. Like, the
and
important thing to me is she's fine.
then all of you are there is a loud bang as a Junimon taps her staff onto like the marble. Uh, and then the doors open and your escort comes back into the room and ushers you out of the castle back down to Brigade HQ. Um, Everyone, unless you want to talk to any of them, kind of like go their own ways. Ice Devimon guarantees that obviously she'll actually Repamon will actually say sorry. It's probably not a good idea to tell Lizardmon about this, but I get the feeling he's gonna find out eventually. I will attempt to stop allow him from seeing into my future, but
I
no
mean, you can,
promises.
yeah, I guess just go talk to him and be like, hey, take my word for it, everything is fine. Don't look into it. We were given orders. I
That'll just
mean,
he
hopefully he'll abide
Repamon will
that.
respond like that will just make him want to know more.
Well, then it's his own fault.
Um, Regardless, everybody will return back to their daily duties. Uh, uh, as a I'll have to change these, but that's okay. Uh, Actually, I think Seal Noir and Blanc will actually leave HQ to go somewhere else. Because Blanc has not seen any of the island, has basically lived up in the castle her entire life.
Yeah, it'd be good for her. Have some fun. See the
Um,
sights.
Before we end for tonight, there is one final thing I want to do. As everybody leaves, the Darkmon uh, guarding the gate will actually come to you. It's like, excuse me, Santarumon, you've been to, you went to, I don't remember what the desert to deliver some things to the people there, correct?
Yeah, we did that. I mean, at this point, it was what, a couple weeks ago? Few, like 3 weeks ago, maybe.
I don't
In
know. I have
game.
to. In game, I couldn't tell you, but it sounds about right. It's been at least a week since then.
It's been at least 2. I want to say 3.
Um, uh, you have some visitors that were looking for you.
All right. Where can we find them?
Uh, they are waiting for you uh, in the fields to the west, where she's referring to like the meat fields and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I remember that's the side of town where we got our
She
provisions.
said they said you would recognize them when you saw them, and then she goes back to guarding.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna assume it's the same ones who made the trip last time are making a trip again. Maybe they want our help again.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that you will notice as you guys are doing things and you maybe start heading west, there's a certain familiar face down south here.
Oh, hi.
Is it Steve from accounting? I haven't gotten my last 3 paychecks. I'll have him know.
Why did it not drag any of you there? I don't know why. Is that dragging you? Because it's not dragging my.
I'm
No,
on my
but I
screen
mean,
now.
yeah, it's you.
Oh, I know why. I know why. There we go. Because it was on the GM layer.
It dragged.
There's your good old friend sitting at one of the stalls. Uh, so he still looks like he's got a lot of things, and no one's really at his stall right now. Uh, but it also looks like he's kind of still setting up right now.
Okay.
Uh, so what do you guys do? You got? Do you want to go find these people who wanted to talk to you first, Centaurumon, before you guys spend money?
Yeah, I would want to do that personally. I mean, I
Yeah.
also don't. I myself don't have a lot of money to spend, so
Oh, you got some.
I've got like 2 grand.
Uh,
It's not
if
like
you
a
guys are
lot.
going to buy things, we will deal with that next time. But Centaurumon, when you go to the fields, you do in fact see. I'm gonna see if they are still on my map or not. They are not. I believe it was a
Digimon, wasn't it?
it was a not a Vegemon. What was it called specifically? Uh,
Wasn't it a Digimon and a like a Shamamon?
yeah, it was a shaman and the one that I called something specific, but was actually the other thing that I thought it was, and it was the same Digimon. I can't remember what it was called. All right, it was the Weedmon. I was saying
Yeah,
they're
I said.
Jap. Uh, uh, and they're like, oh,
I
hey,
remember both of them. DM, I request a point of inspiration.
all right,
Shit,
cool.
this isn't 5e.
Okay, you can have it. It's absolutely worthless in this current game.
Hey, yay!
Uh, the Weedmon, the shaman will say, "Oh, it is you. You are here.
Yeah, what can we do
How?
for you?
Not really what you can do for us. Although helping us transport these goods back to the desert be great. But there's another reason that we're here because we kind of were looking for you specifically, Centaurumon.
Okay. I
Uh,
mean, as long as these guys agree, I think we don't have anything else going on right now. We could certainly help you transport your goods. But what's wrong? Or,
uh,
I mean,
uh,
I'm assuming if you came all this way looking for me specifically, that something's not great.
well, I mean, you were kind of an afterthought. Sorry, we kind of
Oh,
made a
okay. No, that actually sets me more at ease.
maybe it shouldn't. Listen,
Oh, great.
I don't know what you guys have been doing. I heard you guys were up at the castle, and now there's this. When we were coming to get some supplies, because normally we would go to the city in out of character. God damn it! Why can't I remember my own notes? Uh, in the Alpida Savannah, uh, we're kind of running a little low on meat, so we came here, and you guys have a little bit more of a selection about meat stuff than they do. But
I'm gonna lean in and say at kind of like a half whisper, just make sure they give you the right stuff because they've mixed
we're
up
only
our
asking for
rations a couple times.
we're only asking just for basic meat. We don't want to take from your supply too much, is what we normally do, anyways. We have an agreement. Listen, he's very fidgety, especially when you get right up close to him.
Oh, okay.
He's like, listen, well, the guard
What's
in
wrong?
the guard in Sahi want to speak to you.
Okay.
I they were very cryptic about it, but I think I kind of got the feeling that our the Olympus 12 member there might have wanted to talk to you. They seemed concerned, but also excited because a little known fact about Sarismon is that she doesn't really talk to hardly anyone, even her own guard. So, some asking for someone in particular to talk to them is kind of extremely rare.
Okay. Well, then it sounds like it would be important for us to go back there.
She only wants to
So,
technically see you, but if you want her friends to come, they can hang out while you're talking to her, I guess. Some of the
huh.
others are kind of wanting to
Okay.
come you guys to come back because you guys were really fun when you were there. We were kind of bored.
Well, I mean, I maintain I would be happy to I would be happy to help y'all getting back as long as the others agree.
Okay,
Um,
cool. We'll leave tomorrow if that's good with you.
Sure, Tyrannomon, Blimpmon, is that good with both of you guys?
Yeah, that's that's good.
I barely caught like any of what happened there. Yeah, sure.
We have our next quest.
Okay.
All right. Uh,
Yeah.
that is where we'll end it for today. Uh, so next time you guys can do some shopping if you so wish, if you have the money for it. Um, and you got lots of exposition and stuff that's happening faster than it, for reasons. All of you
I
gain.
mean, you literally told us you ran out of ideas for side quests.
Well, it's not that I ran out of ideas for side quests. It's just that it would have ended up just being the same things over and over again. Like, go deal with rebels. We've had wilds that would be a problem. I was thinking
Sure,
about
but I
one in
mean,
the. I was thinking about one in the taiga where you'd be like, go cut us some trees down.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. You can make like dungeons or something out of those so that we have to like progress through it, or
The only.
more of the like. I mean, I honestly like I kind of enjoyed like even though it was sort of simple, I kind of enjoyed the like okay, let's go square by square and investigate this thoroughly and make sure we're not missing anything and like talking to folks in town to figure out where stuff is like I don't know. I enjoy that kind of put the clues together stuff
I
myself, but
I will
also
say.
I get it.
I will say for right now, is that before the rebel camp, in quotes, you had no way of knowing where the taiga city was. However, you have now met Philmon through the Sistermons, and he can guide you to the city if you so wish.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you ever wished wish to go there and change Digimon, like I mentioned, you can do that still. But otherwise, there would be no way of ever be able to get to that city.
Do you have anyone to take us to Neptunemon's realm, or do we just dive into the water?
Even if we were to like be investigating in the correct area with our blimp up in the sky, he wouldn't be able to find a city.
No, because the entire city is covered in a fog.
Okay,
Have any of you
cool.
guys? Have either of you guys watched Digimon Savers? The one where he punches things to Digivolve Agumon.
No, it is on my list of
No.
ones that I would like
Okay,
to watch at
there's
some
a
point, though.
part where in the show where there's a forest they go to. I'm trying to be very vague to not do spoilers. Uh, that there is a part of the forest that's enshrouded in a fog mist that basically, unless you are allowed to find it, uh, you can't go to it. And that's kind of what
See.
I based that Taiga place off of.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's also like in Digimon World 1, there's the forest that's like that until you talk to Cherrymon. You can't get through because it's too shrouded in mist.
Ironically, I think they also took that from that because that Cherrymon is exactly the thing that's in that fog, anyways.
You've played Digimon World 1 before, right?
Yes, but I haven't really played it a
Do you
whole lot.
remember what Cherrymon looks like in Digimon World 1?
I don't think I ever got far enough for that.
Okay, I'm gonna put a picture of him
Because
into the
I
chat because it's fucking
uh
hysterical.
yeah. So also each of you can gain a DP before I forget and stop recording.
EP.
This was
Jeez.
before they had really figured out what the design was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird. Uh, I'm trying to think. Is there anything I need to do or say
I love
before?
him so much. He's such a derpy boy.
Okay. So yeah, I've
I'll
given
give
you
myself
options
an
to
extra
decide what you
point
want to
too.
do. When you
Yep.
guys reach 15 DP is when you guys will be deciding if you're gonna take the X antibody evolution or not. Um, and then there'll probably be a session if Kaz, for example, you want to have the X antibody to go to Triceramon, you would start off as X antibody Tyrannomon first, and then I don't know if there'll be a session or two, uh, or maybe a session and then there's like a small kind of like time skip in quotes where all of you will become your ultimate forms.
Sure.
All
So
right.
we have at least 3 more sessions of DP worth at maximum. Minimum, depending on if I
Okay.
decide what I decide I want to do with that. And then there will be a session after that. And then there will be like a weird like time skip, like a, some amount of time will have passed. And then there will be X antibody Digimon literally freaking everywhere. But yeah, I'm going to stop recording it for that for